Another beautiful day in Toronto. We had snow last day, yesterday.
So
And
good.
we are with Chelsie Ward. She's a registered nurse and FDN practitioner. We're going to talk about energy. So be with us till the end. And if you have any question, please come and join us. Welcome to my show, Chelsea. I'm so happy to have you. Let's talk about energy today.
Awesome.
Revitalize
Yes.
energy. So, tell me what you do exactly and why did you choose FDN? I know you've been registered nurse, right? And still, you are still doing nursing, right? So, tell me about yourself. And yeah, go ahead.
So it started a little bit with my own health journey. I did go into nursing because I think I was trying to figure out like what in the world was going on with me and why was I feeling so sick both emotionally and mentally and physically. I'd struggled with my health my whole life. As a matter of fact, I remember the day my grandmother looked at me and said, "Child, you get everything that comes down this family line." And it was blood sugar imbalances, hormone imbalances, digestive issues. I'm just chronically ill from the time I was a young child. And I put on a pretty face and I went on about life and just kind of hid that from the world for a very long time. When I got into nursing school, I had already studied psychology and tried to figure it out from like the mental, emotional aspect of healing. And in nursing school, I started to realize, I'm just like my sick patients, and we are all searching for answers and we're receiving the same information. And that's that medication and surgery is the way out. And I couldn't help but think, even that early on, and although I finished nursing school, I was thinking, there's something missing. There's something more to the story and more to the picture. So fast forward, I was in perimenopause by the time I was 27 years old. And at that point, I'm having hot flashes, mood swings, disrupted sleep patterns, all those things. And I started looking more into functional medicine for healing. Hired my first functional medicine doctor, didn't move the needle too much, but I started making progress. So it really gave me a passion for the field as a whole. And I just started studying how food is medicine and how our bodies are actually created to heal themselves. And I went on a mission to heal my body naturally using things of this earth. And that kind of just took me down a path to healing. And I dove deeper in and found that one of the things that I felt like I was really missing was those advanced lab tests, those functional labs that you and I both know so well, that really help us dive in and do a little bit more of that detective work. And when I discovered that I had parasites, that I had leaky gut, that I had, estrogen dominance, that my hormones could likely be corrected if I corrected the pathways, then I was able to heal my body naturally. I got rid of my digestive issues that I'd suffered from for 30 years. And I also was able to rebalance hormones, pulled myself out of perimenopause. And even today, I'm 41 years old. I'm cycling. I go through normal ovulation patterns and all of that. My menstrual cycles are better than they've ever been in my life. And I have more energy, better mood than ever. And it just speaks so highly to this work of really addressing the underlying cause of our health issues so that we can get back to feeling like ourselves. And, for many of us, maybe for the very first time.
You know, Chelsea, you actually pointed a really good um, fact. I see a lot of women, they stop cycling very early and they think that this is natural
Mhm.
and that should happen to them. And then say, no, you have to prevent it or you have to do something about it. And what you said sounds like a miracle. A lot of health issues. And even myself, when I did the advanced lab, I see myself that I could never discover these things in my body if I didn't do that. And those labs are savior because they don't diagnose. They try to find the healing opportunities, as you know.
Right.
And especially for women, because we women are more complicated than men. And
Yes.
essentially, but with hormone balances, estrogen dominance, when I see my chart that I'm very close to exhaustion, because as you know, we are in a chart that you can see how where you are. Are you normal, or are you balanced? Your body is balanced, or you are trying to get back to balance. I was very close to exhaustion mode, and my body was thriving for better uh, balance, better nutrition, And you think what you eat is okay because you try to be healthy and try to have organic stuff, but your body is different from others, right? You should have customized diet. You should look at your body as a whole, and that the problem is not everybody go to the whole body because they think that it's very expensive or they don't need it. Because as I talked to my medical doctor, he said if you have asthma, let's say, you don't need to go through the whole body. But as you said also in I saw it in your resume as well, you talk about detoxification. That's what we
Yeah.
need for the body because liver is the most important part in the body. If it's not the most, it's the very essential part. And not everybody actually focus on liver detoxification. It's not only liver. There are so many places that we can start and try to just remove these toxins from our body, because if we have these toxins in our body stored, then the body cannot function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very important to me because I saw the impact it had in my health journey. And I had been doing things right for years. And so many of the people that I work with, same story. They've been doing all the things and they come to me and they're like, Chelsie, I have all the things. Some of my clients literally come, they've cleaned up their skincare, they've cleaned up their toxic cleaning products, they have a sauna in their home, they have all of these things. And they're like, I just don't understand why I'm not getting well. And it's really when you start to understand the energy systems in the body. And this is why it's so important for us to teach and train and educate on these systems, because once you understand just a few small tweaks you can make, it makes such a huge difference. And focusing on the liver and those detox organs, it impacts the entire body. The liver has over 200 different processes that it manages in the body. And we think about things like the liver converting our hormones. As women, we think, okay, how can the liver impact me? I mean, my liver is my liver. We don't really know much about it. But if you're overweight, then I'll tell you two different ways it can impact you. And well, I'll just go ahead and tell you three. Or if you have no energy, the liver converts our hormones. So our thyroid hormone is converted from T4 to T3, which is the active form of the thyroid hormone, which makes us feel like we have energy, we have a great metabolism, those types of things. That is converted in the liver. About 60% of that conversion takes place there. So if we have a sluggish or a sick liver, then we're negatively impacting that conversion. And then we can even look at estrogen. So estrogen is detox through the liver. And you go through estrogen cycles. So your estrogen levels, they rise during certain parts of the cycle, and then they fall during other parts of the cycle. And if we are not detoxing estrogen the way that we should, then it's going to build up in our body and it creates estrogen dominance. And we can also get, external estrogens through our skincare and different toxins and things like that. But if we create estrogen dominance in the body, then we're going to have mood swings. We're going to have hot flashes. We're not going to be sleeping at night. We're going to carry extra body fat. We're going to be sluggish. And it also sets us up for tissue growth, which means not only body fat, but it can set us up for tumors, fibroids, cysts, endometriosis, heavy bleeding, heavy cycles, all of those different things. And I believe one of the reasons why I ended up in early menopause. So it can drive some of those hormone imbalances in the body like that. So, and it really also impacts our hunger hormones, things like leptin and ghrelin. So all of that takes place in the liver as well. Leptin and ghrelin control your hunger hormones. And some people think, oh, I have to eat all day, I have to snack, I'm a grazer, I'm these things, or, I need to eat certain foods, or I just don't feel really good, or, and I think this is why there's so much confusing information around nutrition, as you were saying, because we don't really know how to tune into our body, because maybe we do have a sick organ like our liver. And if we're depending on our liver to do its job to manage those hormones like leptin and ghrelin, then we're setting ourselves up for failure right from the beginning. But when we heal the liver, which is, I like to think of our grandfather detox organ, then when we heal that organ and we heal other detox systems in the body, then they can start working efficiently. Then we can say, okay, truly, after we detox the body, like what is surfacing? Do we still have these imbalances and these hormones, or have they actually corrected themselves now because it was simply a liver issue? And what's so beautiful about that is you've now addressed the root, and you can stop throwing medications, pharmaceuticals, loads of supplements, tons of minerals at a hormone issue that's not really a hormone issue. It's simply a liver detox problem.
Completely agree, because I've seen it in my whole life.
Yeah.
And I see people have thyroid issues, as you already mentioned. Thyroid is a bit tricky because there are lots of causes for thyroid. It's not just taking the hormone and you're okay, because you can see on the paper that your thyroid is good, but you are not good. You don't feel normal. And thyroid actually affect other hormones. So you see a lot of people, a lot of couples trying to conceive. They have thyroid issues. They have hormone imbalances. They don't know what they have in their liver or the other parts of the body. They go to IVF without doing the detoxification, without taking any other supplement that helps digestion or other parts of the body functioning good. So that's the problem. They can't conceive because their body is not ready for having the baby. Or sometimes they conceive, they cannot actually continue with the pregnancy because the body is not functioning. And unfortunately, they don't realize it because they think that's it, that's their body. And they try to take more medication, and then more toxification for the body, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the part. The first time I went to acupuncture, I knew that the liver is very important. It's not only liver, your gut, the whole gut
Right.
should work properly. So um, that's a great recommendation. Please, please, whatever you want to do, any treatment, please detoxify first,
Yeah.
right? Detoxify your liver, or first you have to consult with somebody who knows your body, and you have to do a lots of lab to understand what your body wants.
Right. Yeah, and you made a great comment about, just taking medications and even IVF and things like that. And we have to remember that our body is so intelligent. And if your body thinks that you're going to be unsafe carrying another child, or you're not going to be able to handle that, it's going to prevent pregnancy. And there's really, the best thing that you can do is get the body healthy again. And I remember a case, and this girl came to me and she's like, I just want to have a baby. And I'm like, first off, I'm going to kind of preface this with, do not try to get pregnant while we're working together initially, because your body needs at least 3 to 4 months, maybe longer, of healing to take place before you're going to be safe enough to fully carry this baby to term. Because just because you can get pregnant doesn't mean you should get pregnant. So really, it was amazing. I never even touched her hormones. I
Wow.
went through a liver detox with her. I worked on the gut lining because she was malnourished. She was so super thin. She was underweight. She wasn't absorbing her nutrients well. That's a digestive issue. The liver detox, that was more of a digestive issue. She had a very, very thin, weak intestinal lining. We know that it's leaky gut or intestinal permeability, where a lot of those nutrients, we're not really absorbing them. A lot of the food is spilling into circulation. So she had a lot of food sensitivities, things like that. And she had already been through IVF. She could not get pregnant. And that's
Yeah.
when she came to, an alternative route and said, hey, what's going on? And I am a digestive specialist. I love digestion. It's just, it's my heart and soul, because I know the great impact that it has on our immune system and on our hormones as a whole. So we went through this protocol, and she went back to her doctor, and the doctor said, let's try IVF now that you've gone through this and you're healthier. And she got pregnant the first time.
Wow.
So it's really, and it's beautiful because we can pair what we do in functional medicine with the work of a traditional doctor, and we can have beautiful results. Now, does everyone need IVF at the end? No, not necessarily. But in some cases, you might find that that's true. But the root of her issue was not that her hormones were in the tanker, yes. But the reason they were in the tanker is because she had a poor, unhealthy digestive system.
That's beautiful. As you said, is not IVF is not really, you can't say. Some people really good with it, but some people not. For me, didn't work,
Yeah.
and we got pregnant naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said, if you try, let's say, if you want to start detoxification with the liver, what do you do first? What do you suggest, and what do you do?
So I like using food as medicine to kind of start with. Removing inflammatory foods and those foods that are known to cause inflammation in the body is really key. So it's a lot of times just as important on what we remove as it is what we add on. So removing things, typically I'll start with grains. Grains can be very inflammatory to our system. They're very difficult to digest. So it's just taxing to the digestive system when we really need it to be in a restful state. Our dairy products, our conventional dairy, can also be pretty inflammatory. A lot of people that we work with, they're actually lactose intolerant, or they're intolerant to the protein in milk, casein. They don't really digest it very well. So another inflammatory food that I find super beneficial to remove. Again, it also is kind of, it can mimic gluten in the body. So if someone has a gluten sensitivity, then it can be very inflammatory for them to have dairy. And then the other one is sugar. Sugar is, just very toxic to our system. It's addictive. It's all the things we know. And we're actually consuming more sugar today than we probably ever have in any time in history. We're just not designed to consume the amounts of sugar that we're doing today. And, of course, if there's other toxic things in your life, like if you're having alcohol, if you're having, any of those things that we know are just really toxic to the liver, those things would be inflammatory as well, and be removed before cleansing. And then you could just add in some cleansing foods. So things like beets, grapefruit, lemon, or, bitter foods. Your bitter greens are wonderful. Like dandelion greens are super bitter. So the more bitter, the better. And it really helps just cleanse the liver. And I always like to use supplements to kind of do that too. And it's just really going to give you more bang for your buck. The body goes through 3 phases of detoxification, and it kind of does it naturally, but you are going to get more benefit if you are using supplements and including the right proteins, amino acids, those types of things. So make sure that you're doing protein instead of just straight juices while you're trying to cleanse. You're also going to want to get certain B vitamins, and NAC is really good. All of your B vitamins are really good. That's going to help you move through those phases of detox. And make sure you're getting plenty of good fiber, because fiber is what helps bulk up the stool. You're going to be pulling toxins out of the system in that phase 1. In phase 2, they're packaged up into little water molecules so they can actually be carried out through the bowel. And then in phase 3 is when you're actually eliminating. So you want to have plenty of water, plenty of fiber to carry those things out. So if you're looking for products, it's really just looking at those 3 phases of detox to make sure that those are covered on any of the supplements that you're using. And there's plenty, there's like tons of great supplements out there to really support that system.
Chelsea, I like you mentioned these 3 phases, because some people get tired of doing it, and they think that the first phase is enough.
Yeah.
Because after the first phase, your body gets tired. That's for sure, because you are trying to do something extra on your body and force it to just remove the toxin from your body. But you have to go through 3 phases, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
And really, I think most of the reason why we get tired when we're detoxing and we're not doing it correctly, maybe you go to a box store and you get a detox in a box, or you get a detox tea. It's not going to help you move through those 3 phases of detox. And this is why detox gets a bad rap, because we're like, oh, I tried that detox. No way, never going there again. It's horrible. And the big thing is you probably were in phase 1 during that detox. You pulled the toxins from the tissue. That's phase 1. And they do circulate in your system. So if you don't have the right ingredients to move you into phase 2 of detox and do that efficiently, then you're going to have all of these toxins circulating in your system. More
dangerous.
Yeah,
even
it
more
is.
dangerous. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you never get to carry those out of your system. So you're actually just making yourself a little bit more toxic. And if you don't open the drainage pathways up to release those like you would in phase 2, then you're just going to be miserable. You're going to be sick. A lot of times we call this a Herxheimer response, where people just get super sick and they have flu-like symptoms and all those things while detoxing. And it's just really because you're not addressing those 3 phases of detox in the way that you should, so you can truly get rid of the toxins. And I like to tell people, like, look, it shouldn't be torture to detox.
Yeah.
It should be a it's not going to be like fun, like, hula hooping or going to Jumping World or doing something like where you're celebrating, but it should be fairly simple and straightforward. You should not be in the bathroom for hours, every day. Like all of the horror stories that you hear, or maybe you've even been through, that shouldn't be the case when you do a gentle detox.
Yes. And I'm going to add something. The food sensitivity test is a really great tool, because sometimes even some foods that you think is good for you is not. And I've seen it, because myself, with the mango, yellow zone, so I shouldn't get too much mango. But mango is good and healthy, tomato, same thing. So
Right.
you first, we recommend as functional practitioner to do the food sensitivity before doing anything else, right? Because it can help you understand your body. You still don't know what's happening in your body and what is good for you or not. We also have other ways to just see that how is your metabolism. Are you fast metabolizer, or you are slow? How is your body responding to different foods? Some people are good with vegetables, some are not, some better to have meat. That's why not everybody can be vegetarian. That's why being vegetarian is not good choice for everybody. So that's why you have to understand your body first by doing different labs.
Yeah, having those numbers in black and white is so beneficial. And this is really what drove me toward this work and this functional medicine field, because I thought, I'm doing the right things with nutrition. And I was even helping clients just as a regular nurse and health coach. without the labs at first. And I just got to a point to where it was like, there's just something missing. There's something tangible that's missing that I want to be able to use to help people dive a little bit deeper into the issues. And when you see the numbers on these functional labs, I mean, my clients are like, I have never saw anything like this. I mean, it is absolutely mind opening to be able to see some of these numbers and be like, oh, this is the reason why I'm experiencing this. And we can talk about things on a stool test, and we can talk to them about how certain markers are correlating with certain symptoms. And the same thing with like a dried urine hormone test. Most people are like, I'm doing a dried urine test for hormones. And when they see the numbers, it is just so eye-opening. And they realize now why they're having heavy cycles, or why they're having PMS symptoms, or why they had cysts removed potentially. And we're able to use those tests really to set them up for success, and even use supplements, use certain healing foods to be able to push and shift those markers a little bit so that they can honestly prevent some of these things in their future. You know, people with kidney stones, maybe they've had kidney stones their whole life, right? And just looking at minerals and realizing like how the body's processing some of these minerals, those types of things can prevent future kidney stones. I know I'm that person who had just chronic, it was generational, it was in my family, multiple generations. And those types of things, you know, nobody can promise they're never going to come back, right? But the idea is that we can use these as a tool to improve and get better and better. And that's really the idea, is for us to get better health as we age, instead of aging and expecting sickness as we get older.
So, summarize it. It's not normal to have imbalances, to go to early menopause, or if you see something like this, a sign, don't go to a traditional route right away. You need to look at your body as a whole, and maybe a little bit tweak, as she said, maybe a little bit nutrition or exercise or some detoxification can help your body, right?
Yeah.
So I see you have a website, chelsieward.com, Instagram account, and Facebook. Tell me about your programs and what you have in your websites.
Yeah, so I have a book. If you want to connect with me on my website, it's chelsieward.com, and you can get the book. It's probably, going to give you just an overview of a lot of the work that I do. And I offer programs. Those are personalized programs where I work with clients one-on-one to heal digestive and immune issues, and even dive deeper into things like hormone imbalances. And the detox program that I have, that you can literally just go and purchase on my website right now if you want to, is chelsieward.com/cleanse. And it's a 1-month program. It's self-paced. You do it with your own self. You just kind of guide yourself through the process. I use foods that we talked about today, supplements. We talked about those 3 phases of detox today. So you'll get access to supplements to be able to do that. And just access to my staff to help you really feel supported through the process, guided by me on that 1-month journey. And then, you'll notice probably a lot of improvements. People are losing weight. They're gaining their energy back, getting rid of years of bloating, indigestion. One lady got rid of her inhaler, an allergy inhaler. She literally got rid of it by doing the cleanse. So the testimonials are just beautiful. And then if you want to do deeper work after you do the cleanse, it would be a really great chance for you to just kind of jump on a call with me to make sure that what we offer is really beneficial for you for your next steps. And we'll either say yes, or we'll send you in a direction that can really help you move in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Chelsie, for being here, and thanks for all amazing job you're doing for others. I wish you a lot of success in your career.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
Please subscribe to Panta Calhoun Transition channel and order my book Needs Gap through Amazon. Simple guide to manage autoimmune disease and chronic pain. Thank you for watching.